Very good morning, class 12. So today we are here to discuss a new topic from our book Flamingo, which I have told you earlier also. So we are going to start a new poem today, that is A Thing of Beauty, written by a famous well-known poet, John Keats, right? So basically what in this poem we are going to learn, although we have discussed few things about it in our online class also, but still we are going to discuss it again. We should try to understand what's there in this poem actually. So first let's talk about John Keats, who is a great poet of this poem, A Thing of Beauty. And this title itself says we are talking about some beautiful thing. Now what is that beautiful thing? What that John Keats has focused on it, that we are going to learn it here. Now John Keats, he was born in the year 1795 and he died in the year 1821. Yeah. So he died around the age of 25 or 26 only. He was so young when he died due to some illness actually. And he was a British romantic poet, that you need to remember. He's a British romantic poet. His works are very, very well known one in the English literature. Now what we basically want to know, we should understand about this poem is that this A Thing of Beauty is one excerpt taken from his book only, from his piece of work only. A Thing of Beauty, which is written by John Keats. This is one excerpt taken from his own work only, that is his work of Endymion. There's something about a Greek legend who was a shepherd, right? Now Endymion, he was basically got attracted towards the moon goddess. Her name was Cynthia, and to search her, to seek her basically, Endymion, that Greek legend, went to seek her, to seek his love interest basically. He went to the forest as well as down under the sea to down. So it is basically a work, and from that one excerpt has been taken. So when he tried to seek her actually, he noticed the beauty, that is nature. He noticed the nature and he came to know that how beautiful it is. Like without nature there is nothing in our lives at all. So this is in the whole poem actually. We are going to learn that what is the role of beauty or nature in our lives, in our individual life. Secondly, what John Keats has mentioned to us, that this nature, it is having a permanent and everlasting impact in our life. Means whenever we are looking at the nature, whenever we are looking at a beautiful scenic thing, the love, the joy towards it always increase. Always. We never feel sad while looking at any beautiful nature thing. We always feel happy. The love towards it always many-folds, it always doubles up actually. So it is having a permanent and everlasting impact in our life. Then we are going to learn about this shelter for us. That what John Keats mentioned to us, that this thing of beauty, this nature thing, is like a shelter for us. Basically, as this is a God creation, we need to understand this nature is a God creation. This is not a man-made thing. So this is a God creation for us. It's like a shelter. We are feeling very safe under the nature, right? If suppose we always talk about global warming. Why we say? Because we say we all are playing with the nature. We all are disturbing the God's creation. God has given the things to us, so we should enjoy those things in that manner only. So we need to understand about it. Then we talk about it, abundance of joy. That this joy always, this love towards it always gives the joy, which is something like we can't even neglect it. It's an everlasting one. It's the impression which we are having for the full time in our lives. And then we talk about that it never fades, it never comes to the zero level, it never diminishes actually, it always increases, it gives the fascinating effect to us. So I am reading few lines for you, and then the rest we can cover up in the next class also. So it's about, what pleasure does a beautiful thing give us? This is a question for you. Are beautiful things worth treasuring? So basically the same question is here. What pleasure does a beautiful thing give us? Are beautiful things worth treasuring? So yes, this is treasuring one. This is giving a good impact, that innocent, that cooling effect in our life, that while looking at the nature, our mood rejoices. We start feeling energized, channelized at that. So the first few lines I'm reading for you. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases, it will never pass into nothingness. but will keep above a quiet for us, and a sleep full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. Now here, what John Keats is saying, a thing of beauty is a joy forever. This is a very important line, the first line. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. So it means whenever we are looking at a beautiful thing, whenever we are looking at nature, the joy towards is forever, everlasting one, which is having no end. Its loveliness increases. So means the love towards it, which is having a light, the love towards this nature thing always increases. Whenever we are looking at the same nature thing again and again, the love, the joy towards always increases. It will never pass into nothingness. So means the love, the joy towards while looking at the nature beauty, it will never come to zero level. It will never become diminished actually. It will never come to an end, but will keep a bower quiet for us. Now this is very important, bower quiet. Now bower quiet basically means a shady place, like the tree is giving us shelter towards the shade. So it's saying that, but will keep a bower quiet for us. So this nature is like a shelter for us, a shade for us. That under this shade, under this shelter, we all are protected. Like under tree, we are safe from the rain or from the hot, the scorching heat. So here we are protected under the bower quiet, and asleep, full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. So what John Keats said that when we are looking at the nature, when we are looking at a beautiful thing, it gives us a good sleep also. And when we are sleeping good, then we are having sweet dreams also, and we are having good health, and we are even able to breathe properly also. So everything is connected, John Keats is saying. If we are looking at the nature, if we are enjoying that beauty, the nature beauty actually, that beautiful thing, it will automatically give us something, some spark or entho inside us. And when we are having that entho or spark, obviously we are having good health. With a good health, with a good mood, we can sleep well, we are having a good health, we can breathe properly also. So in this manner, all these things are connected here, right? So now, if I talk about the poetic device, a bower quiet. Now here, what is the poetic device used here? Metaphor. Because the nature has been compared as a shady place, a shelter. So this is a metaphor for us that you need to understand. And if I talk about rhyming scheme, we will get to know in the first few lines only. Forever, never, keep, sleep. So here also you can make the A, B, B, C. So we can make that rhyming scheme here also. So till here we are discussing about it. In the next class we will continue the poem. I really hope this much is clear to you. Thank you. God bless you, and send the worksheet. Thank you.